Brandon Foster, upcoming author of Confident AF, Unleash Your Inner Badass, host of Confident AF Live, the podcast, and also moderator, group person that won't leave your inbox inside of Confident Mindset Practices. Super excited to share an incredible story with you today, a Born to Slay testimonial from the one, the only, Karin Mugen? I don't know. I never say your last name.
Win. It's Karin Win.
Karin Win. Well, there you go. We learn something new every single day. So I'm going to stick to the first name after that. But Karin, why don't you start by just telling everyone where you're from and what your business is?
I am currently in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I am about to celebrate my 2-year anniversary of being a business owner with my travel business, Parks to Paradise Travel. So,
yay! Happy 2-year anniversary. Amazing. So why don't you tell everybody what was going on in your business and inside of your mindset that led you to join Born to Slay?
So, there was a lot. There was a ton, actually. So I was coming out of a 15 plus year career of HR and decided I wanted to take a totally different path. And I love travel. So really, I took that path and I was like, I can do this. I can absolutely do this. Now, mindset is a funny thing that I thought my mindset was perfect. I didn't think I had anything wrong. I really was unaware of most of the issues with my mindset. I was focused on what I thought was my path. And I didn't realize I wasn't open to feedback, to be completely honest. And I kept saying to myself that I was really open to feedback. But believing in the power of affirmations and emotional well-being is challenging, especially if you weren't raised in that environment, which I was not. So trying to change my mindset and be positive really was something that for the first 2 years of my business was holding me back. I was in my way. And so it was very, very difficult to acknowledge these issues within myself and to take the steps towards better personal growth and understanding. And Brandon, I had found you from Careers on Vacation, and I connected with you. And so I kept watching tons and tons of your stuff, and I decided to take the plunge.
Yeah, so that's so interesting to me. At one point, was there a crack? Because you said that for a long time, you're like, no, my mindset is good. Like, I got a solid head. I'm a career woman, very successful in HR for 15 years. I don't need the mindset. Like, when did you realize that maybe it was your mindset that was holding you back from growing and scaling the business that you knew in your heart was meant for you?
When I became afraid after I reached 400 followers on Instagram, I suddenly hid for a month and stopped posting altogether. And I realized I'm not as confident as I once thought I was. So I knew something had to change. And it took probably another 3 months before I joined Born to Slay to actually come to terms with being okay to make this move.
Wow. I relate to that too, because, and actually I think it's one of the videos that's inside of either Born to Slay or Badass Mindset Bootcamp, but I talk about self-sabotaging at 20,000 followers on TikTok, and how like, I just was like, I don't know what to do. So like, I know how that feels. And I love that you said I was confident, or I thought I was confident. I always tell people, but confidence is on different levels. So you were very confident up to 400. And then once you hit 400, it was like, like that was it, right? So what has been some of the biggest wins and the impacts inside of your business from joining Born to Slay?
You know, some of the things that I think have really been impactful is that I've been able to heal things that I didn't think were impacting my business. So, the forgiveness module took a really long time for me. It took 3 to 4 weeks to get through, because the first week I was like, oh, this was easy. And then I sat with it and I was like, wait a minute, that's not that easy. I have this, and this I need to talk about with myself. So then I went back, I listened to the videos, I read through my notes again, and more things just kept coming up and coming up. And so it was very much like things outside of your business impact your business. You think you've got the systems in place, you think you've got beautiful marketing, but if you're not dealing with your personal issues of self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, fear to be seen, you're not going to be successful. And so the forgiveness module was really what prompted me to take a hard look at myself and say, okay, I'm not okay personally. I need to make these changes if I want to be as successful as my dream is. So,
And how did that forgiveness, how did that unlock new practical pieces inside of your business, practical action? How did that help you with the stuckness, I guess you might say?
it really helped me in a couple different ways that weren't necessarily in the business. And so I am the primary caregiver of my parents, and I do also have two teenage daughters. And there's been a lot of anger on my side with that. And so I didn't realize that that was seeping over into my business. And so, a phone call comes in and you got to deal with it, but then all of a sudden you got to get back to posting a beautiful TikTok on Antigua or something, and you're like, okay, my mindset really is messed up now. And so to be able to address the issues I was having with my parents and in my personal life really made me appreciate more of what I have been given and make me look at things with different levels of empathy. It's I heard somebody else say something about watching The Bachelor, but mine was Vanderpump Rules. And so I have a soft spot for Vanderpump Rules. And with everything that went on in this last season, I got caught up in it. But that negativity from the show really seeps into yourself. And then you let that come out as well. And so it was looking at things like, honestly, what kind of music was I listening to? Was I listening to stuff that was uplifting? What was I reading? Was I watching the news every day? Because the news is very depressing. And so being able to address how I'm uh, how I'm reacting to the news and the information that's coming in has been really life-changing. I know that's a weird word to say, but it really has been life-changing because I see things differently. I see things through a much more positive lens than I ever did before. And so I appreciate people and I appreciate the clients I'm working with. And I do my best to understand their side of the story.
I love it. And, one of the things I talk about, Karen, is the ripple effect of doing the work, not just your business, but in lots of pieces of your personal life. What were your favorite personal wins?
My favorite personal wins is definitely with my parents. A lot of that anger is gone now, and I definitely see um, more patience and more empathy whenever I talk with them and deal with them. I have seen a huge adjustment in my youngest daughter. 2 years ago, she lost her best friend in a pretty crazy incident that happened at school with her friend's health, and
Mm.
it was very sudden. And you don't know how that's going to impact kids. And
Mhm.
she's been very down and her mindset was really bad. And so me switching my mindset, and her and I now sit and we write affirmations at night, or we write affirmations for the week. We do meditations to kind of calm our brain. Whenever either one of us is having some anxiety, we talk each other through box breathing. And so that impact, even though it's short term right now, I think is going to impact her life so much further along than we're even able to understand right now.
I love that. Wow. That's amazing. So what would you, it's, a lot of people maybe have seen me on the podcast or in the Facebook group. What is the difference between some of the free content versus investing in yourself and investing the time of doing the program Born to Slay?
Um, the free content is great. Okay. I'm totally like binge the free content. Anytime Brandon offers something free, go grab it. The difference is going to be when you get to be able to have a more in-depth conversation with Brandon. He sees through the veil of your words and sees what is actually going on. And I've been through therapy, I've been through coaching and counseling sessions. One of the biggest things that you were able to give me was the tools and the guidance that I needed to get past my issues. I can talk about things that happened in middle school and high school forever, but unless I know how to work through that and address those issues, I'm not going to get over it. And that's one thing that this program has been able to do. And it's hard because, you know, when you come to the end, you're like, I don't want to lose it. So I'm trying not to lose it. So
I love that. And what would you say to someone who's never worked with me one-on-one? What is that? What is that like? The one-on-one time with me?
the one-on-one time with you need to be prepared because Brandon is going to see you. He's going to see through it. He's going to see through it, and he's going to call you out on it. And sometimes you just need to be called out on. There was a couple times in one of our one-on-ones, you said some stuff to me, especially about my parents. And I was just like, no, that's not fair. I should be the one who's like, everybody should feel bad for because I'm having to take on this burden. And you're like, no, but think of how they've lost their freedom. And it was that adjustment in my mindset that really helped impact a lot. And honestly, Brandon, for the last like year and a half, I have not gone over there that much. And we have gone over there almost every weekend this year so far. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Restoration of love in a really amazing way.
exactly.
I'll say. Well, what, I don't know. I've asked my, like, I guess my normal questions that I normally kind of like to ask, but like, if you could say anything, what would you want to share about your experience doing this? What would you want people to know?
You know, it is, you have to 100%, you have to be open. You have to be willing to put in the effort to be able to achieve the great things that is being offered. It's easy to go through those motions on the training sessions. We've all done that. You're like, sign up for something and then you listen to it and you don't actually do the work. You need to do the work to see the impact. And you need to be willing to go back and keep doing the work. Um, Throughout this, I went from being a hosted agent into an independent agency owner, and that has completely changed my mindset. But it also made me go, you know what? I need to go back to module one. I need to do that again because everything in my life has changed. So that's one thing. I am so happy that you provide the access to us to go back and revisit those modules because that's going to be the impact. It's always going to be there to adjust us and make us take a look at everything differently.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be something that you use once and done. Like, I wanted the systematic process you can revisit over and over and over again. And so many of the incredible alumni have said that they reach this point and they start going through everything again. And there's two things that like we haven't talked about that are just sticking out to me as wins. Apparently there's three. Let's see if I can point these out. One was you went through a complete rebrand change,
I
which was
did.
really big. So new name, new logo, new all the things as you switch from host to completely independent, which was huge. The other huge win was just you're really a badass on some of those practical pieces inside of your business because every week I share, what are you committed to doing? What are your wins? And there was one week that stuck out. You're like, I did my email automation. Like, it's like you went into like full out like beast mode, and like you built out like all of your email automation. Like that was really, really exciting. And then to me, I feel like your other win, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, Boo, but like I feel like your other really good win that was a practical is really setting you up for leadership, but really changing your perception of just people in general and business in general based on what you saw in the HR world, like the HR realm, and breaking through those old paradigms that people are like greedy or don't care or manipulistic or like what have you, and just changing kind of the clients that showed up in your business, changing how you showed up with people in business, because you were guarded, like you've been really hurt and reserved. And I just, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that changed too. I mean, those are what the wins that I saw. Is those accurate, not accurate? Like, you tell me.
Those are completely accurate. And honestly, the thing with being guarded, 100%. So I was an HR director for recruiting for an essential business during COVID. And we had a lot of people, I hate to say it, we had people coughing, we had clients coughing on our staff, we had people wiping stuff on our staff, we had people who thought it was funny to just not wear masks with our staff. It was hard. It was terrible. We lost employees. We lost multiple employees. And losing somebody who you work with is difficult, but when it's your responsibility to take care of them as the HR who's the head of all of the COVID practices, it made me very, like you said, guarded. It made me very, it really broke my spirit. It really broke my spirit. And I was always a happy person. I've always been really like outgoing, and I left HR because I wasn't that person anymore. I wasn't enlightening people. I wasn't helping people like I wanted to. And coming into travel, I'm able to tell people to go take their PTO, and I can tell them about the whys behind it because I have the HR experience. But then I also get to experience things like somebody going to their 60th anniversary trip in another country, or celebrating their mom's 60th birthday down in Costa Rica. There's a lot of fun things that I now get to experience in life. And it's just completely changed. I'm that happy person again. It's just great. It really is. My family said for the last 3 years I was in HR, I stopped talking. And I would come home and I would just be so burnt out that I would just get on my phone and I would just sit there until 9 o'clock and go to bed, and I never talked to them. And I feel so bad because I missed out on so much in my kid's life during that time. And that's been one thing that I've struggled with, because my father had a job where he worked out of state a lot, and so he wasn't there. And I didn't want that for my kids. I didn't want to have them have one of their parents be absent a lot. And I was doing the exact same thing. I was absent a lot. I missed a lot of things. So now, I mean, for the freedom of being a business owner, you get to go do things a lot more. But just the appreciation of being able to, I sat in my 13-year-old daughter's room last night and got to listen to her for 20 minutes tell me about all the drama in her friend group. I never did that before. And so, I mean, like, you're kind of interested because it's drama, but not really, because you're just enjoying. I sat there and I was like, gosh, I'm so happy she feels so connected with me to trust me to talk to me like this.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's amazing. Yay. Okay. And I'm also glad I'm not hallucinating on the wins.
No.
Well, is there anything else that you would say to someone who maybe is on the fence? They're like, yeah, their heart's kind of getting pulled, but they're just like, I don't know. Like, should I do this? Should I not do this? What would you say to someone who's on the fence?
You need to follow your intuition. My family was a military family, so you could call me an army brat child if you want, because it really was kind of what I was. That was not the life you go and express emotions in. You don't talk about your feelings. You don't talk about your well-being. And I knew deep down I needed this. I knew it, but you got to be ready. You have to be ready to do the work. So just keep listening to Brandon. His podcasts are awesome. I listen to them when I walk every single morning. And it's just a way for you to feel a little bit more connected. And when you're ready to take that step, take that step. He's there for you. And one of the things that Brandon did for me that I don't think I would have ever done for myself is believe in myself to take the next step. And so at the beginning of this year, I took the next step and I invested in a coaching program, an individual sales coaching program. And it's expensive and it's scary and it's stretchy. And I'm so excited every time I get to listen to some of this stuff. And I'm just like, if it wasn't for Brandon, I would have never done this.
Yay! Onward and upward. I love it so much, Boo. Well, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your experience with Born to Slay. I'm super proud of you. To be honest, as much as I love and I'm excited and proud of where you are right now, I am more eager and more excited to see how this foundational layer transforms and grows 3 years, 5 years down the road from now. I can't wait to see it.
I know. I can't wait to see it too. You told me in one of our first conversations that you thought I would be a couple $1 million travel agency, and now that's my number. I'm working backwards and I'm going to get there.
Yay! I love it. Well, thank you so much, Boo. I hope you have an amazing day.
Thank you. Good to talk with you.
Good to talk with you too.
Bye.